We get these questions all the time. How do you screen tenants? It's a constant thing we've been talking to landlords about in my over 1,000 calls over the last 5 years. They always want to know, how do you screen the tenants? So there are 7 steps to screening a tenant, and this is in our professional opinion. Okay, so you got the first thing. Half the battle, in our opinion, is getting the tenant actually to schedule an appointment and show up on time, or reasonably reschedule. Everybody has stuff come up. If somebody's being reasonable and accommodating with you and apologizing, and they're reaching out in a decent time frame, it's fine, okay? It's not a big red flag. Are they okay when you ask them to take their shoes off for the showing? And did they actually fill out the application and answer all the questions on it in a thoughtful manner? If you've asked for employment information and their employment contact, did they just say plumber and a phone number? Maybe a bit of a red flag. They might be busy, but also how much do they actually care? So that's half the battle. Just getting the application filled out and your general gut feel of this person, how they dealt with you, is on time, you know, easy to deal with, and do they care? Second one is also a really big one. This is the rent to income ratio. This is what I get the most professional flack about, but that's fine because we have a great track record of rent collection. Over 99.9% on over $12 million in rent collected now. So we require that the household income after tax of the tenant is 3 times the rent or more. If there's a bit of a shortfall, we'll look at their savings as well. So anything in a savings account, in their checking account, or a TFSA where it's easy to access, that will show that they are making financially conservative decisions. After that, we're running their credit check. We're looking at their credit score, as well as all of their lines of credit. So these are your car loans, your home mortgages, your student loans, and how often you're paying these things, and if you've ever had a late payment. And I'll tell you now, we've looked at enough credit reports. Canadians pay their bills on time for the most part, and our tenants definitely do. After that, you're looking at the CSO. This is the Court Search Online. This is a public registry of people that have had court cases in the past, whether they're serious criminal cases or minor, like doing a speeding ticket, dispute. So you'll be on there. So we can look at if they're coming in for a divorce, a big ICBC, lawsuit, or if they are on murder trial, for example. These things come up very, very rarely, but we do check to make sure that's clean, as well as checking out social media. So if these people own their own business or they're a professional, they're likely on LinkedIn, but you can also find people on Instagram, Facebook very easily, just looking for red flags, not if they are just having fun at the bar when they were 20. Most people did. After that, we're running references. So we are calling their previous landlords to see if they paid the rent on time, to verify the actual address. Sometimes we even pull land title to make sure that, if Steve was the landlord, is Steve on land title? We will look at that as well. And we're going to be doing an employment verification or income verification. So if they're employed, they've sent us their T4 or their pay stubs. We want to make sure to call their company to verify they do work there. This is their income. They haven't falsified these documents. And if you're self-employed, we're going to look at your T1, so your actual personal tax return, or a T5 for dividends. And then we're going to verify, does your company exist anywhere publicly? So again, website, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those kind of things. And if we need to get some references on that, we'll check vendors and suppliers and get a reference there as well. The final thing we're going to do is a final interview, and we're basically at 99% of the time we're renting to this prospect, but we are looking at just getting good questions on the lease. Are they satisfied with the terms? Are they being too nitpicky about things now that they feel like they've got the place? And just making sure we're ironing out any final items. After all of that, as long as they've signed the lease and paid in certified funds, you're pretty good. We've rented over 300 homes in the last 5 years. We have a rental collection rate of over 99.9%, over $12 million in rent collected, and we have very few problems with that. We currently have 0 RTB disputes outstanding, and everybody is paid up on rent. So that's how you screen a tenant.